Hello, humans,
Hey.
and welcome to AudioFace, an irreverent podcast about the music news and music culture that mostly matters. I'm Dan.
I am Sean.
It's the Demi Jour Show. This is episode 297. How did you let us get away with it? I'm just gonna start blaming you after the end of every segment.
You can't keep getting away with this.
You can't keep getting away. It's episode 297 of this money sink, and this is and we have three wonderful albums which I haven't listed in the rundown, but producer Dan has done 297 of these joints. 298, but who's counting? So I know that we are going to be doing Deeper Well by Kacey Musgraves, Worldwide Whack by Tierra Whack. The real is back, the veil is back, the whack is back, and Three by Fortet. Three wonderful albums. We don't have hot new singles in your area. Update your VPNs. Make sure you're not falling for scams, and we'll return with that very soon. Also, we will definitely be doing, before this month closes, our state of music conversation, which we usually do around this time in March, where we talk about all the different genres, all the different things that are going on, clicks, clacks, bleeps, bloops, ramps, romps, and things of that nature. And so definitely make sure you stay tuned for that. And also check out what we're doing on Power Report. Not only have we done a lot of really great banger episodes over there covering all of the really major news things that are going on, but Bam and I have been making the rounds, being on a bunch of different shows. We'll have that in the ticker throughout the regular episode. Make sure you're at the newly super secure syndicate23.co, because I learned how to code over the past couple months, and I made sure that the authentication worked. Syndicate23.co to make sure you are subscribed and checking out everything from the AudioFace and PowerPoint vaults. And with that, we will start this show. We have some news. We have some great news. And, I'm definitely stretching the bounds of what could technically be considered a rap beef. But because this is my show and because I'm hosting, we are going to call this one of these. So Jamie, could you pull this up, please?
Rap beef, nigga.
Punk ass,
Jerry Torres, nigga. Big nigga.
Fuck that.
In the nuts, I'ma stomp them in the nuts. Stomp them in the nuts, I'ma stomp them in the nuts.
That's right. It is
Love it.
pure, clean, wholesome rap beef. So it is Kanye versus noted streamer Cenat, which is like, spoiler alert, Kanye already lost. And Kanye's about to lose pretty big here, because we have a Drake corollary rule where anyone who defends Drake gets like the Zap Fast Pass Express super service to the Nerd Little Bitch Award. Like, that's all you need to do to get nominated. I'm gonna do a similar thing where Kanye and anyone defending Kanye is going to get like the express slip and slide. What is it? The clear TSA pre-check to the Nerd Little Bitch.
Oh, absolutely. Just like, hey, you don't need to check your bag. Yeah, you're good. Just walk in. You don't need to take off your shoes. Just
you're
go.
good. When's your flight? 6 hours from now? Straight ahead, please. It's like, doesn't matter. So what had happened was, Kanye is in the middle of his Vultures, post-album release cycle. There's merch that's going out. A lot of artists release merch after their albums come out, so not that crazy of a thing. But you've gotten a lot of people, and this has gone viral on social media, and additionally in the Cenat situation, which we're going to be talking about in seconds from now, people have been getting not the things that they ordered from the website from Kanye West, which, for the record, if you're ordering anything from Kanye West at this point, that's your fault. Like, I mean, like, buyer beware on that one. You don't need Consumer Reports to understand that Kanye West is not the most like reliable person in this case. But all that being said, like, I've been someone who's been like burned by artist pre-sales and post-sales, and things don't always go how they are supposed to. I'm not gonna like throw so much shit on that right now because like things happen, but it's also kind of annoying.
Naturally, of course.
It is definitely annoying when someone like Kanye West, who is like routinely disrespected his fans, not only in album releases and album rollouts, but also like concerts where like people. I saw an article where people were, or someone went to a Kanye West show for Vultures in San Francisco, right? And all he did was just stand in the middle of, I think, the Chase Center and play the album like off an aux cord, right? And we joke about the spacebar, DJs who just like play a pre-recorded set during a like live performance or a rave or whatever. But like this is unapologetically that. And let me be real, we talk about it with the Doom imposters, right? Like that was a terrible thing, right? That you're just like being bad to your fans. But what kept happening, not to belabor the point because I said it'd be seconds before we talked about Cenat, and look where we at. This is what happens when Dan hosts the show. We had a situation where people were getting, they ordered a Kanye West shirt and it ended up looking like the Gangstalicious, like street bra or whatever the hell was going on. And like people were ordering, pants, and they ended up getting the Flea Tom York special skirt. Like it was just ridiculous sizing, not at all the shape or cut or fit of what people were expecting. And Kai Cenat posted about this. And Kai Cenat was one of many people to post about this, is what I was saying. Like, this is going viral. A lot of people talking about finally receiving the Vultures merch from Kanye West and Ty Dolla $ign, being like, this sucks. This is not at all what I ordered. Can you, you should fix this. So then what happens is Kanye West's manager, whose name is John Monopoly. I say that again. Kanye West's current manager, his name is John Monopoly, apparently dry doxed Kai Cenat, posting his, address or, his cross streets where he lives at in the Bronx in New York, and said that, hey, if you want to come down here and, audio face real heads will remember, we can bump. We can bump.
How about that? Totally forgot about that.
We can bump.
We can bump.
So again, I gotta remind you, Kai Cenat, folks who know me from the Young Turks political power report world might know of Hassan Piker. Okay, he's like a really big Twitch streamer. Anytime he goes live at 11 a.m. Pacific time on a Tuesday, he instantly has one of the top, Twitch streams on the internet, the top live streams on the internet. Okay, he's not shit. He's nothing. He's absolutely minuscule compared to Kai Cenat. Kai Cenat is the #1 Twitch streamer, period, end of sentence, story, like done, right? All the rappers want to be on his show. Aiden Ross ain't got nothing on him. Like, he is the #1 for whatever.
That's hilarious. Like, man, old man Sean, I barely know who he is. I didn't even know he was #1. That's hilarious.
Yeah, like Hassan Piker is not even within spitting. And I say this with all respect. Like, I worked very closely with him. We have a decent relationship at time of recording. Like, it's all good, right? But like nothing compared to Kai Cenat. He is the #1 streamer, to the point where like rappers like Drake and Lil Wayne, etc., Kanye even, are worried about alienating his base. And by the way, he was born in 2001.
That's hilarious.
Like, and so that's the funny thing, is like Kanye's manager is on the phone going like, hey, do you know so-and-so, whoop-de-whoop, like LL Cool J or whatever, like, this record label, like this management, like, we killers, we out here. And Kai Cenat's like, no, I don't know what I understand you're trying to flex right now, but you gotta understand I was born in 2001, and you're really like, the old head is old heading right now. Like, yeah. I have no idea what you're talking about. And so all of it went super poorly. It went really bad. And ultimately, John Monopoly called Kai Cenat while Kai was on stream, and they kind of, talked it out. even though Kanye posted, and I quote, "Oh, so you ain't do nothing wrong? So I felt this way for no reason? F you, N word. You was told to diss my crap. You a pawn." And this is a group message. And like this is a conversation between Kai Cenat and Ye on Instagram, like a DM. And Cenat said, "Keep it family friendly, no cursing. The pants don't fit, Ye. You think someone told me something? I'll prove you're wrong. Ah, F Adidas, ah." So it's like Ye can only frame the fact that Homeboy went on stream with his cameras on Twitch in 4K and was like, "Yo, these pants, like, these are triple X's, and I'm a 32. Like,
That
no
don't fit.
disrespect, but this dog is not hunting." And so, like, that's all he did. And for some reason, Ye and his, I mean, like, for the obvious reasons, we know
Well,
his
I mean, it's fucking
undiagnosed mental health issues. It's like Ye thinks that it's a, you know, a conspiracy, and we all know what type of conspiracy it is. A bad one against you know, I'm not even gonna say things that will get us banned because audio face is one of the few things that makes us profit at this point. And so, you know, like really bad tropes. And yet, yeah, like Ye keeps going about these things and accusing Kai Cenat of like being part of this cabal that is keeping him out of the media. When it's like, dude, you just keep sending people not the things they ordered. Like that's it.
It's just, I mean, it's Kanye being Kanye is the thing, right? Like, he'll shit on anybody, like, anybody that says anything against him, whatever. It's just, it's bad, and it's not a good look. But I mean, he's been doing that forever, so it's not surprising for Ye to do that. And yeah, and now his manager's on it, and it's just and keeps beefing and doing that, and it's like you're just making that situation worse. Like you're making it look worse for Ye. So, but I mean, Ye surrounds himself with yes people all the time and sycophants and stuff, just like Elon, and those types will always be like that. And anybody who's remotely critical of them at all, it's just they turn the dogs loose and just go whack, just
Yeah,
right
talk
away.
about a killer arbitrary scale this week would just be like exploded SpaceX rockets. But again, we just,
Ooh,
for various reasons, I may want to keep that out of audio face lexicon to not make this an even more expensive podcast. So.
Ooh. That would be a good one. That would be a really good arbitrary scale.
I do gotta say, this is definitely not the most profitable podcast on the Syndicate 23 network. If I'm looking most broadly, it is the biggest loss on the Syndicate 23 network by a country mile. That being said,
it's also the longest running, biggest loss. Love it.
No. And in Hollywood, they call this a passion project. That's what it is.
Mm-hmm.
So anyways, before we end the story, we just gotta say, yes, we brought it up with the rap beef scenario, but really, I just want to say, and this is a long time coming, really, but I hereby nominate one Kanye West for the Timothy Daniel Poole two-time noted little bitch award.
I love it.
Because sending your manager and DMing someone on Instagram because you're mad that your merch sucked, and at the end of the day, this someone that you're mad about, that you're sniping on, that you're dry snitching, that you're doing all this flexing of, oh, I know such and such and whoop-de-whoop and we can eliminate you and whatever, is like 26, like not even 26. He's like not even in his mid-20s. Like you are, it's the same way like Drake. Also, Drake had a party at South by South. This is an immediate story, but sorry. You know how Drake was creeping with Millie Bobby Brown, the Stranger Things star? Apparently, Millie Bobby Brown was kicked out of a Drake party at South by Southwest that was sponsored by Drake, even though Drake was not even at the party. So let's, softly put Drake for the noted little bitch as well. But Kanye,
I mean, always.
Also, noted little bitch. You're nominated for the noted little bitch award. This is ridiculous. This is insane. Grow up, figure it out. You're a ridiculous human being. And like we've been saying since, 2018 or 19 on this Fine Established podcast. Seek professional help and stop getting near microphones. If you get near a microphone, let someone else get near the microphone and be that chop the beats Kanye. All right.
Yeah.
Other than that, stay out of it. Next, I promise I'm gonna get fast as much as I can. Olivia Rodrigo had been doing something pretty radical, which
Yeah, I didn't
was,
realize this.
yeah, she was on tour, and she is on tour, and in the United States, where she has been going on tour. Wait, let me get the banner off. In the states where she has been going on tour, she has been in the states where Olivia Rodrigo has been going on tour. When there are states that have been, restricting people who can give birth and their rights to contraceptive access and things like that, she has been giving out contraceptives. She's been giving out Plan B. Like, she's been giving out a bunch of different things at these different concerts. Variety is reporting that according to 3 sources at local abortion funds, after widespread media attention, they were no longer allowed to hand out free birth control pills and other reproductive health resources because Rodrigo's team supposedly so they couldn't pass them out, like they can't pass out lubrication, condoms, Plan B, because quote unquote children were present at the concerts.
It's interesting because it's like it. I mean, okay, I understand kind of both ways to it, right? Because Olivia Rodrigo being like kind of a younger pop star and stuff, and her audience is really on the younger side, but also I get where it's and like the idea of it of, hey, like teenagers have sex, right? Obviously. And right, the American educational system is horrendous, especially sex ed is basically non-existent here. It's
I mean, not to
just
interrupt you really
absence.
fast, but it's like to add some color. Sean and I have been friends since middle school, right? And so we've been through the American school system together at least since that point. And the year after Sean and I took our quote unquote mandatory health classes in the state of California, they were cut.
Oh, I didn't even know that.
Yeah. So like we had to do health one semester and computers one semester. The year after we took them, and not to, age or, youngify Sean and I, but we are late millennials, early Zoomers, depending how you want to count it. We're born in the mid 90s. And so once that was out in high school, which was around 2010, 2011, that's it. And so no kids younger than us knew sex ed. Mind you, while sex ed was still being taught in high school and middle school, we both went to a middle school where you had pregnant middle schoolers. And, a lot of that's like a really dark situation with, like family SV and things like that. But a lot of that is also
poor sex education.
I'm not going to name who we know here, but it's like it's also middle schoolers getting other middle schoolers pregnant because of poor sex education, right? And so it's inevitable. Like the dark ages that a lot of conservatives want to take us to, #NoPolitics, had people who were getting pregnant and giving birth to kids at that age. Yeah, exactly. And I don't endorse that. I don't want that to happen. I don't think in like a normal society, and especially compared to like laws we actually have, that we want those kinds of things to happen. But despite, my mouth to God's ears, right? In this month of Ramadan, like these things happen. Okay. And so it's great that folks like Olivia Rodrigo, folks out there in generally, I'm not going to mention political parties here because #NoPolitics, but like it's a very political thing and y'all should be paying attention to it. And the really interesting thing about this is that it seems like, Olivia Rodrigo personally really spearheaded this effort, and her management is superseding her to say that, okay, we can no longer do this.
From pressure from the media and everything else, which is a shame, honestly.
Media and probably legal issues too.
Yeah, definitely. Yes, yeah. Which is a shame because the message is a good one of like, hey, like if if they aren't getting the proper sex education, right, at least have it from their communities and stuff that they'll respond to and everything, right? So at least it's a step in the right direction of that. But it's just backwards ass country when it comes to that, and those things are going to only continue to get worse. And as we continue to defund more educational services for our youth and everything. But as Dan says, hashtag no politics. So
I mean, for those who are interested in the politics, and it's definitely going to be very relevant, we will be talking about that on Power Report very often. So definitely check that out. You know, every Thursday, 6 to 9
Yeah.
Eastern. YouTube.com/Dan from the Internet, Twitch.tv/Dan from the web, most likely where you're watching this. But it's going to be a really important thing, and I'm glad that, you know, it's going to be interesting to see how Olivia Rodrigo fights this internal battle with her management itself. But I'm glad that Olivia Rodrigo did this, because she was touring in places like Missouri and, you know, Louisiana, where these laws have gotten really backwards since the repeal of Roe versus Wade. And let me tell you, speaking right now in mid-March, the Supreme Court comes down with their hellish decisions every June. It's going to get worse. It's going to continue to get worse.
It's going to get worse. Yep.
Yeah. And not just for reproductive rights of women and people who can give birth, but just like in general, it's going to get worse for rights in general, and except for certain small, already powerful populations in the society. Hashtag no politics. Anyways, let's start with our first review of the day. Not gonna take Sean's way. Bing. Is Deeper Well by Kacey Musgraves. 14 songs, 42 minutes long. Kacey Musgraves is, you know, a country, you know, folk kind of person, I guess. Let's say, like, you know, real Americana style.
Yeah, I'd say that.
Yeah, we reviewed her Golden Hour, I want to say, in 2018.
We definitely reviewed Golden Hour, and we definitely reviewed Star-Crossed as well.
We definitely did Star-Crossed. I'm not sure if we did Golden Hour, but we
did do Golden Hour. We did both of those records for sure.
Okay, yes. And I remember it being like okay-ish on Star-Crossed. There was like one or two songs. I think What Doesn't Kill Me I enjoyed a little bit. But, you know, Kacey Musgraves, pop, folk, Americana, white girl kind of thing. Sure, all right. You know, this was definitely, people who have listened to Audio Face for a while understand the cycle. We do one really popular album, one like comeback from an artist you probably know about, and then one super obscure thing with that is really just indulgence for Sean and I. This is definitely one of those episodes. But in doing that, especially having done this for a while now, and I'm getting at the point where, like, I know a lot of these artists, I know where a lot of these albums go. For better or worse, sometimes for these big poppier artists, I start to put the albums off. I'm like, I don't want to listen to this because it's probably going to be a slog or whatever. And every single time this year I've done that, I've been proven so powerfully wrong. Like, I did that with Ariana Grande last week, and I was like, oh, this is actually a banger. And I listened to Kacey Musgraves' record, and I was like, she's doing the Lana Del Rey speed run, where she's skipping all of the shitty parts of Lana Del Rey, and she's gotten straight to the great stuff. And like, this is not a perfect album, but there are songs in here that are phenomenal. And even at its worst, I wouldn't say, like, this is a pretty much no skips record to me. And I'm surprised, again, I'm very surprised that I'm saying that about Kacey Musgraves. Wow. I love this podcast because it's forcing me to be like, yeah, no, I'm really in my, you know, springtime white girl era. I love Kacey Musgraves.
Shit. All right. Damn,
and I stand by it, but I want to hear what you think.
I didn't mind it. I think it's, I mean, I can see what you mean by the Lana Del Rey speed run, where it's like this type of Americana, which I like a bit more, where it's not overly produced. It's really singer-songwriter type of record. And for, you know, Kacey Musgraves has been making music for a long time, 20 years, because I think her first record was early 2010s, I would say.
Yeah, like 2013.
13-ish, yeah, so
10
decade
years.
plus. Yeah, decade plus.
Yeah.
And
not 20 years. Don't scare me like that.
Did I say 20? Oh, I meant 10. But yeah, anyways, for someone who's been around for a decade plus, it's interesting to see somebody evolve as an artist. And then the last two records that we reviewed, I think Golden Hour was actually a pretty decent record, and Starcrossed was okay. I think this is
I
a
didn't.
step.
I'll be honest. I did not like Starcrossed, but go ahead.
Yeah, I thought it was okay. I didn't think it was that great of a record, but I think Deeper Wells is a step in the right direction for Casey Musgraves. I think it really like it suits her as a singer songwriter type with it. Um, well, I think towards the end of the record for me, it kind of got drawn out a bit to where it just felt kind of flat and boring towards the end, where I wasn't super happy with that part. But I do enjoy not necessarily the pivot, but the evolution of her as an artist, and for her going into more of that Americana singer-songwriter sound. Um, as she's done a bunch of different things throughout her career, and I think there's some good stuff in here. But to me, what's disappointing is it's to me feels very top heavy. Like the first half of the record, I ended up enjoying quite a bit, and then the latter half of the record felt pretty flat. Like the last from I would say the Architect down, it felt kind of flat with it, where it's just a little too airy, a little too um lacking of substance from just me personally. But I think for her it suits it. It suits her as an artist, it suits her songwriting capabilities and her vocals and everything. So I think it's a decent record. And kind of going on the trope of this year, which I mean we'll talk about in the next couple of weeks or so for the state of music. Some of these pop records we've been getting have been actually not horrible. So have been good, not bad. So I'll take it. And Deeper Well, I think, is on that same trajectory of good, not bad. But it's just little things of my own personal music taste where it just gets a little flat. But I can appreciate it, and I think it's actually a pretty decent record from her, especially compared to her last record, where that one felt really flat and just dull to me.
Yeah, I agree with you a lot, and I also disagree with you a lot. So let me go
Go ahead.
into this. I think that first of all, I think the album starts very well and ends not as well as it starts, but ends on its feet. Like it
Yeah, I can
starts
see.
with
Yeah,
me
perfect.
holding up a 9 on the little placard at the desk of whoever's doing gymnastics, and it ends with me holding up an 8. Right? So I think Cardinal's a phenomenal track. It's
Mhm.
really hard to put a better album opener than Cardinal, I think. It really tells you what you're going to get into the album, a lot of the range, and yeah, I almost wish the end of the album did a little bit of that better. But again, I think because of my expectation of Casey Musgraves as being a very poppy type of outfit, I think I actually like that the poppier songs are near the end, because usually in these types of records, you get the poppier tracks in the beginning and it's you have to slog through them, and that changes your entire perspective. But
Yeah.
the second track, Deeper Well and Too Good to Be True, Giver/Taker, Dinner with Friends, I think there's a little bit of a slower calming down from Cardinal. I think Cardinal starts the really high point, but you get really thoughtful music. You get stuff that's really kind of pushing the boundaries of things. I think actually, yeah, Dinner with Friends, Heart of the Woods, Jade Green are some of the best songs of the album, especially Jade Green. I was again, noted questionably black person Dan from the internet, which is belting out lyrics to Jade Green both of the times I was car testing that. And it's just a really well produced, well thought out track that I think really shows the best of Casey Musgraves. The Architect is a really weird, almost not sticking the landing version of that. But Lonely Millionaire, despite how much I hate the premise of the title, fundamentally, #no politics, I think is a really great track. And you get into Heaven Is, Anime Eyes, Nothing to Be Scared Of, these types of concepts, these types of ideas I think might be more, stereotypically poppy,
Mhm.
maybe one could call them vapid, maybe one could call them trying to reach to a broader populace with some poppy careful names. But I again even disagree with those premises that I put there. I think it's like all of these things are really good efforts, even though, yeah, you have some songs that aren't really punching as hard as Cardinal, Jade Green, Lonely Millionaire, even Anime Eyes, I think is a really good track. But wow, I was so impressed with this entire record in general that like I was like, damn, am I a Kacey Musgraves enjoyer now? Like, is this me? And I'm like,
Everything.
I guess I am. I really am. I was really impressed with how this turned out.
Well, did not put that on my 2024 bingo card at all. So
Me neither. It's why I enjoy this show still very much because I did not expect to enjoy Kacey Musgraves. Like, I can relate to a certain type of person a lot better having listened to this record. Which brings me to the arbitrary scale. Arbitrary scales we do arbitrary scales every week on Audio Faces. Our review is our review. I did like a Windows 98 like pause there, like processing. Let's figure that one out. Because we don't do a letter ranking system or a number ranking system.
Nope.
We tell you how we feel about the album, exactly how it is, straight from the dome. And so this week it is going to I forgot we chose this. It's going to be Eric Adams' Sister Cities, based on the fact that Eric Adams seems to be addicted to saying that New York is the X of America. Like whatever city, like I don't know, like the goddamn Pompeii of America, whatever context that means. And so
this is one of my favorite arbitrary scales in a minute. Actually, this is a good one because we can just
You
be
know,
creative.
yeah, Audio Face, the premier podcast of blimp accidents, preferred airplane manufacturers and Eric Adams and New York mayors and their sadistic fantasies. So oh my god, we got to do an arbitrary scale about what's his name, Elliot Spitzer. They don't make him like that anymore.
That would go hard.
Anyways, Sean, I've talked a lot. I need to do some future prepping. So what would you give this record?
This is definitely just like an easy little south of France. This is definitely New York is or hold on, Nice, or New York is the Nice
Côte
of
d'Azur.
America. That's what it is. Just a solid, just south of France, a little Provence, just a little Nice.
I love the idea of like Queens being the Monaco of America.
Dude, that's a good one.
In my Tim's, hey, let me get a chopped cheese. Like the number of people who like don't speak English, who like don't understand the joke in that, who are like expecting Monaco, and they get LaGuardia. You would see like a mini recession in like Middle Eastern travel planners just from the number of like hot firings that would happen out of that. Anyways, before I further cancel this seemingly uncancelable show, geez, that was a lot of money. I'm gonna give this my I'm gonna say that this is my Seoul, South Korea. New York is the Seoul, South Korea of America. It's a nice city, a little bit of glitz, a little bit of glam. You know what we do. We do the damn thing here. Yeah, let's continue. Next album. Next album review of the day, not stealing Sean's way, is Worldwide Whack by Tierra Whack. 15 songs, let's call it 38 minutes long. Tierra Whack almost needs no introduction, but kind of does. She kind of took the scene with Whack World in 2018.
Whack World.
This really quirky, really weird, super good concept record. It was 14 minutes, 56 seconds long. We basically called it one of our first drops on Audio Face, actually. And we were like, this record has really stumped what we consider to be an album because it's complete, it's well thought out, it's a concept, it's done, but also Every song is like no more than a minute long. They all end very abruptly. I mean, it was the pre-TikTok era, like, bite dance, like musically era type of song, like
Hmm.
vibe
Hmm.
type of song, because every song it would start with the chorus, you would have a bridge and maybe a verse, and then you have the chorus, and then the song would abruptly stop and go to the next one. And you had 15 of them joints. And at the end of 15 minutes, like a Family Guy episode and some commercials, it was gone and it was over. And that's pretty much all we've heard of Tierra Whack ever since, other than some
Like some
appearances here and
features
there.
here or there, yeah.
Yeah, and it's
And they
just
were
like,
kind of really random ones too, like nothing that really stuck out that much. Except I think maybe that one like Lion Green track or whatever, where there was a bunch of people on it or some shit. My Power, I think was what it was called. But other than
right.
that, that's really it.
Yeah, like there's a lot, like she's done really great work and she's been on a lot of great things, but Worldwide Whack, I think she really shines here. Like this is a 38-minute album. This is a full album's length albumy
Full
McAlbum
LP.
things. Yes. You get a lot of range on here, and let me tell you, like I have on this Women's History Month following Black History Month, I
This
am
month.
so proud of her. I am so proud of her. She knocked this out of the park, in my opinion.
It's a fantastic record. It's really, really
This
good.
is one of my first very strong. I'm considering this for this year's Audio Face Awards type of records.
Oh yeah, this to me is just like this and like Last Dinner Party. Like you've on first listen, you're just like, all right, throw that in there. Just put it in the run. Just add of the list. We'll talk about it later. It's just it's instantly a beautiful record with just the range that is on here from neopop to trap and b to trap to almost experimentalish sounds on it. It's beautiful with how it is. It's paced brilliantly. Also like with the length of the tracks as well, because it's 15, but a lot of them are a little bit shorter, but they don't feel too short, right? Like a Earl Sweatshirt drop
They're
or
not
something where
abrupt.
it's
Yeah.
like they're exactly like they're not abrupt where they leave you wanting more. It's the right amount of stay where it gets weird enough, but it doesn't overstay its welcome to be where it's like, okay, this is a little too much for me to digest, where the casual music fan, right, music connoisseur, listener who might not really know Tierra Whack that much gets into this record, be like, oh, okay, like I could bump this. There's some stuff in here that I can enjoy, right? And for us people who've known about her for years, like this is the project that we wanted. It took a long ass time from Whack World, that beautiful, beautiful EP that came out.
God's record. Goddess's record.
God's yeah. And to make an LP that can hold up its own to a record that is very well established in that way, it is brilliant, I think. And it shows her evolution as an artist and stuff as well. Voice matures even with that, and just the production, everything. It's a beautiful record. It's fantastic.
I had to ride with her a little bit because like she's the, for lack of a better term, like she's the quirked up black girl. Like she's kind of like if Donald Glover were like actually clever and like actually witty. This might be a hot take, but it's like, she's really on it and she's really good. And not only is she a skillful rapper, but like, Megan Thee Stallion and Cardi B are skillful rappers in like the ho shit ratchet shit way. And
Right.
No Name and maybe Lil Sims are
Lil
really
Sims.
skillful rappers in the woke kind of knowledgeable about politics way.
Yeah.
Tierra Whack is just like Tyler the Creator weird. Like she is Earl Sweatshirt weird. She is the host there in the hose, but it's smart and it's clever and it's funny and it goes through all the way. The part that I didn't know I was going to ride with was in the middle where she does, we know. Yeah. I mean, not even that, but like, Numb, Burning Brains, all the way down to maybe like X and Movies, right? She does a neopop R&B kind of shift.
And
I was like, I'm riding with it. it's new. It's Tierra Whack. Like it's Tierra Whack differently from how I know her. But like, you can go ahead, Sean. But like, she is acclimating me to something new of hers. She is branching out into a new genre for her, and I think she does very well with it.
And that's kind of what I alluded to earlier, right? Of saying the range on this record, right, from neo pop to just normal pop to almost experimental is sounding with some like interesting spoken word stuff that like difficult. Right, that is a song that I think of how it's done, and some trap and B. It's all of these different genres and stuff that have been pretty prevalent for the past few years, but also can get really stale after a while and stuff if you're not creative enough. This is a record where this is the creativity. This is what we want on our podcast of, okay, hey, like try something different, right? Take your time, really divulge and branch out as an artist and get ideas, get influences from other people and other sounds, and then make something that is truly you. And that's what you get with this. And yeah, I think for her first actual full LP, it's incredible.
Yeah. I cannot, lest we forget, I would be remiss if we didn't mention Shower Song. Like, it's a bop, it's funky, it's groovy. It was the lead single coming up to this, and I was like, I don't know if I said this on Audio Face because I think it may have come out during our annual break, but I was definitely sending this in our sidecar chat with friends in Audio Face, Annie and Tammy, and I was like, wow, Tierra Whack created the song of the summer and it's January. Like, this is gonna be one of those, like, okay, this is a year where we can, we're 4 years out from COVID. We can finally start to bring back song of the summer as I think a tradition. And it's a bop, it's a banger. She killed it. Like, I'm so happy with what she did in this record. I really can't speak more highly of it than I already am.
You and me both. I suggest everybody just listen to this. It's a great record.
Yeah. I demand everyone listen to this, actually. You're dead to me if you don't watch the Vince Staples show and listen to Worldwide Whack by Tierra Whack. You are both a racist and a sexist if you don't do both. Arbitrary scale. We do arbitrary scales on every week of Audio Face. It's our review is our review, god damn it. And we don't give you a narrow ranking system or a number ranking system. We're just going to tell you how it is. This week, it is going to be Eric Adams' Sister Cities. this oh man, this is my, you know what, I'm lighting the shit on fire. This is my Tibet of America. This is my Tibet.
This is are you,
this is my Roman Empire.
Are you fuck it. Let's go. This is your absolutely, New York is the Saigon of America, even though it doesn't exist anymore, and it is Ho Chi Minh City. It is the Saigon of America. That's how great it is. Beautiful. It's so worth it to keep propping up a failing country. So that's how great it is. I keep pumping money into this. Let's go. Love it. That's
awesome.
Like, you're giving you Tibet. I was like, I gave you Tibet and I'll raise you one.
Yeah, no. You got to go hard in the paint if you're going to be doing that. God damn it. I was trying to plan me getting some food that I wanted, but the place is closed because it's Sunday, and Dan doesn't always get what you want. But I can get Sean on Melancholy Hill reference / Sean and I are fucking after this podcast. That's what happens. Anyways. Oh my God. Just throwing that out there, not to be forward, but I feel pretty good about my odds. Last album review of the day is 3 by 410. 8 songs, 45 minutes long.
All I'm telling you is I hope you forever pause. I hope you hunt from dusk till dawn. That's all I want.
Absolutely. That's absolutely
good, man. Good man.
Anyways, 410 is a man who needs literally no introduction. he has been one of the more prolific electronic producers since his debut album Dialogue in 1999.
Mhm.
His many, alter egos, including
With the
I
emoji
really have
squiggles, squiggles,
I really have
was
wingdings. We call it
wingdings.
wingdings. Is
Or
really where
straight
we're at this
wingdings.
point.
That's my favorite
Um,
ever because they're just like, there's a record. I'm like, who's it by? Wingdings. I'm like,
that and three exclamation points are like my favorite descriptions because
chick,
I
chick,
was a
chick. Also, I just call surprise Pikachu face like forever. That's just what I'm listening. That's what I'm talking about chick, chick, chick for.
no, literally. So I in super inside baseball. I'm sorry to do this tangent, but it's good. And especially since I'm not trying to rush the end of the show before 8 p.m. for my place to open, I have an extra minute. So we did a thing at my, I was in a social setting, let's say,
Mm,
and we were talking about around Valentine's Day. It was a really good icebreaker question. Was like, what's your favorite breakup song? Or like, what's your favorite, like, love song or whatever? And you have to know what mine is. It's Dancing is the Best Revenge by Surprise Pikachu Face.
that's a good
There's
one.
there's no way like there's no way to not like if you start that song sad, I guarantee you will end that song happy, whatever you're going through. Like it's impossible. It's such a great song.
That's a
Even
good
if
one.
even if your relationship did not end like that, right? Like it not end weirdly like that. Like it's a great song.
That's a good one.
And it's a you know
I generally have
drag.
to think about that
It
actually. Like, what
it's
would
a
mine be?
yeah, it's a drag queen anthem. Like it's all of these things.
Yeah, that's
But
true.
yeah. Like anyways, back to Fortet. Yeah, Fortet's like Fortet through all of his alter egos, including the weird ones, has been one of the better artists to follow. I mean, he even did a song with Skrillex, and Fred again very recently too
Yeah,
in
the baby
2023.
again
Yeah,
last year, I believe.
yeah. And so
Yeah.
you listen to this record, and I'll say this: this is not going to be the record where Fortet is breaking any sort of boundaries or doing anything sort of like
Mm-mm.
cool or special. Absolutely not. This is going to be Fortet firing at all the cylinders, doing the types of sounds that you know him for, just a little bit better and like a little bit more properly well known and thought out. And I generally enjoyed this record being a Fortet head, even if that makes me an old head.
Yeah, this is a beautiful ambient record, is what I'm gonna say. This is. It's. I mean, for how like the range of Forte and the interesting sounds that you've gotten, and then also this is his first like real release since 16 Oceans back in 2020, which had a couple of fucking bops and bangers. Like you had Baby, which both of us just blasted the shit out of that song like during COVID, especially because that came out I think right like literally right when it all happened. I think that was like
Oh
March of
yeah.
2020. Like I think like the day or when everything just started shutting down and stuff was
And you
when
know
that
what? We
album was
are
released.
just we are just over like, 4 years out from that point.
Which is crazy to me. That was 4 years ago already,
We were
and
living together. We were
yeah,
hunkered down in that joint. I remember Love Salad. I remember Baby, Harpsichord. Harpsichord.
harpsichord.
You remember Harpsichord, dude? I remember you remembering Harpsichord, dude. You love that.
That was good shit. Like, and for a record like that, right, where it's definitely more like upper beat house joints and stuff, and then a little bit of ambient tracks, like with
Robot
harpsichord and a
video
couple
game
others, robot
beats.
video and beats. I apologize. With 3, right? It's definitely more of like the harpsichordy type of really nice, beautiful ambient tracks and stuff. Which, like example, Daydream Repeat, right? Like that's a
Oh,
really like I love that track. I think it's just
that's the pinnacle of the
beautiful.
record. I mean,
Yeah,
like, not to say it's a bad record, but I'm just like, that's what it's all about. That's what a hamburger's all about, baby. Daydream Repeat is like that is peak Fortet right there.
it really is peak Forte because he's been around for a long time, has collaborated with some of our favorite artists, and has made some beautiful, interesting sounds throughout his collaborations and his own side projects and stuff, and then as releases himself. But with 3, I think it's just you get a really refined type of Fortet, where it's his best type of work, where it's sticking to an idea and letting that idea play through, even if it's super repetitive and pretty monochromatic with how it sounds. It suits Fortet in that way for somebody who's done so much throughout their career, and
Yeah,
I
and
think it's great.
really fast, like I definitely got something to say to that because, like, our resident on the podcast, our resident like electronic music aficionado, Kyle, who I found out went to EDC later than I did. My first EDC was before his, which is kind of fascinating. Anyways, I trust him for a lot for electronic music. If we ever sound smart for anything involving electronic music, it's because of him. And we would what am I trying to say? We I referred to him and like how he thought about this record. He was like, "Yeah, this isn't like groundbreaking Fortet." And I
It's
went
not
back
very.
to other Fortet, records, and I was trying to give that audio face eye to it because this is how we would cut up like any other artist. And there were parts of Love Salad, like literal notes and progressions. There were parts of Love Salad that I heard in, Daydream Repeats, Skater, Storm Crystals, songs I enjoyed and songs that I would say are definitely different. But I think they're examples of the fact that Fortet's experiencing similarly to like a, Tom York, Johnny Greenwood, or like a Damon Albarn thing, where, at best, you know exactly how this person sounds like and you really appreciate it. At worst, their sound is so signature that like what they've been doing for such a long time, and it starts to feel like not stale but like, okay, you're just reworking the same couple beats here and there.
Right. I mean, it isn't groundbreaking at all, but for a cohesive project, for again, as somebody who's been around for that long and has done so many different sounds and so many different things, I think it's a really good release, especially 4 years removed from his previous record, which was definitely more dance heavy and definitely a bit
Yeah,
out there. Where like my criticism of that record was like it was a little too all over the place, even though I thought it was beautiful. But as a record standpoint, it's like, okay, like you need to stick to
but
something.
Sean, 4T recordings, but Sean, Mama teaches Sanskrit. I'm just naming tracks off of 16 Oceans where I was like, I remember that. I was like, this is a good record, but like you need to
It's
already be into Fortet and you need to be in
yeah,
this like
like
weird electronic music. I can't intro anyone to this. I have a better chance introducing Scaring the Host to a random person than I do Fortet, actually. Fortet, I'll actually be scaring the host.
now, which one would you be scared of more, Burial or Fortet?
Oh, Burial, no contest. Absolutely. That's not even a question. That's not even a question.
I forget
Fortet is like in that race. I mean, like in that like MMA battle between Fortet and Burial, like Fortet is turned into like a fine mist. Like it's not even close.
It was funny. I won't ever forget the first time I had Vanessa listen to Burial. First off, Dad is a bit like a friend of the show, El Chapo Pancho.
Deep State Punch.
Deep State Punch is fucking loves Untrue from Burial, by the way. He calls it first off
Good
the
man.
very because he listened to Tom York's webcast from like a decade ago or no, like 15 years ago, and like
Deep State
this
Punch.
this is maybe like literally in high school when he was blasting shit in the garage, and I put on Untrue, and he's like, "Oh, that's the Tom York stuff, right?" And I was like, "This is Burial, my friend." And since then, he's just like he bops it every once in a while, right? I'll never forget the first time I bopped that with Vanessa, and she's like, "What?" Like I played, I think what was it? I think I played Raver, the last track on Untrue, and she's sitting there like, "What the hell are you listening to?" I'm like, "Old school UK dubstep. You have no idea. You have entered into. You're just gonna marry me at this point. So just prepare. You don't know. You're getting Burial and you're getting Bjork. Like that's
We have
it."
that old meme of who was it? I forget his name, but the actor who plays Walter White in Breaking Bad. But this is when he was performing in Malcolm in the Middle, and he's saying like,
Oh yeah.
he's like, son, once you go down this point, there's no turning back.
There's no turning
I mean,
back.
this is
Exactly.
full commitment.
This is just full commitment to old school UK dubstep. Like you're gonna enter into deep MIDI zone.
Bryan
Like you're
Cranston,
getting to
that's
it.
right.
Bryan Cranston. Thank you.
From
Jesus
Malcolm in
Christ.
the Middle, though.
Yeah.
We're good with
I know.
music. Anything else? That's why we have the folks from Movie
Ooh,
Night Extravaganza.
literally, like anything else. Like I know a lot about very specific films. A lot about very specific stuff.
I was invited to trivia the other night, and I was like,
God, it was
unless
so
it's
scary.
about politics, music, or aviation, I'm cooked. Like I am not. I am literally nothing but a liability to your team. I'm just gonna be blurting out wrong answers, and we're gonna get
like,
negative points.
Example, like if it's trivia, it's like okay, music, easy, right? All right, sports, depends on the sports. Most of them probably got it. And then it's like, oh, entertainment, bees.
I'm cooked. Even like I loved watching the Oscars with like all my film friends because I'm like, oh, I'm an idiot and I'm proud to be an idiot. There's like no possible way I can know what's going on right now, and that's good. Like, yeah, I literally.
That's why I just look at Vanessa. I'm like, you gotta help me out. I don't know shit. I don't know anything about entertainment. Help.
So the Fortet record is good.
Fortet record, good, love it. Anyways, this is why this is the podcast.
And again, like these are longer songs on the longer end. 3 drums, which is a really nice ender. It's like 8 minutes long. You have a lot of 6-minute songs. Yeah,
very repetitive. But if you like that stuff, it's a good listen. It's a good listen.
Yeah, it's a great ambient listen, like you said in the beginning. Which is why this review should have been 5 seconds, but it wasn't 5 seconds because this hoe is going on YouTube and we're gonna make that 3 cents of ad revenue. God damn it! So arbitrary scale. This is arbitrary scale. So do arbitrary scales every week.
We gotta dig ourselves out of the hole we made. So
we gotta get the metrics.
Gotta get the metric booming.
Hey, Carl, we got like 3 cents for you. Not even that because of operating expenses. It's like, hey, Carl, it's gonna be another month.
It's like, Carl, can you give us another like 6 months here? Thanks.
Arbitrary scale. We do arbitrary scales every week on Audio Face because our review is our review. Rather than giving you a letter ranking system or a number ranking system, we'll tell you exactly how we feel with an arbitrary scale. And so this week it is going to be due to lack of better judgment, Eric Adams's Sister Cities. This is going to be I'm not gonna ruin the good vibes by saying that because then I will have to go into some other things. But this is going to be the New York is the Antananarivo of America. That's the capital of Madagascar.
I was like, what the hell is that?
It's the capital of Madagascar. The Malagasy Republic. The Maliglazers.
This is definitely I'm debating. Nah, I won't go too hard in the paint. This is definitely exactly. Dan's like, this is definitely the Barcelona of America. This is just
actually
Catalan, beautiful, walking out, racist against Mexicans. We love it here. This is how we do it in America, boy. Living it big.
No, it's Barcelona. What's a Mexican?
No, like it's,
how you know Mexican?
It's just you go there and you're just you speak Mexican Spanish and they're like, I don't think that's how you're supposed to say it. And we're like, well, in Santa Ana, that's how we say it.
You have the Men in Black joints. You just no, actually,
like, culo means very different things if you go there.
Whoa. Actually, in a rare circumstance, I would like to redo my No Little Bitch pick because I'm sorry, not my No Little Bitch pick, my arbitrary scale pick, because I would like to be a little bit saucy, and today's the day I get to do it. This is going to be my New York is the Dublin of the United States because we're recording on St. Patrick's Day, and proud Irish there. We both got a little bit of Irish blood, so let's go.
I can do one better. I gotta find it though. Oh, dumbass. This is I'm gonna change mine too because I have an Irish name, so I can do this. But we're gonna go with the. This is very true. We're definitely going to go with the Protestants, though. We're gonna go Belfast. We're going Northern Ireland, dog. We're going the heathens. We're going the Rory McIlroys. That's what we're doing. We're doing the Rorys. We're doing the Belfast. That's what we're doing.
This is my spelling Barack Obama as Barack Obama. like with a G.
Oh my god, that's a good one.
Okay.
Free Ireland on God.
We
Oh.
will be doing our quick hits. Quick hits.
Quickie hits.
Quickies. Whoa. Hank Johnson, who is, God damn it, Alabama, Atlanta politics, whatever. Anyways, Hank Johnson, who is the Democratic congressman from Georgia's 4th district, is fighting against the rap snitch Knishes rule, which has currently got Young Thug caught up with a RICO case. It's currently got Donald Trump caught up in a RICO case. So, hashtag no politics, but just treat that what you will. The fate of the country is in the hands of YSL, which is why we do audio face, honestly.
It's great.
We made a bet several years ago that music and politics have the perfect intersection, and now at the end of the country, it's YSL and Donald Trump. Look what we've done.
It's beautiful. I love it.
We live in hell. So yeah, that YSL case is basically around like, and a lot of cases have been, and the whole rap snitch Knishes thing, several Boondocks episodes are based around the premise that rappers have a lot of fun rapping about degeneracy, but there's a fine line between, the rappers who rap about degeneracy and they've never lived that life, the rappers who rap about degeneracy and they're smart about how they rap about it so they don't get sued, and then the rappers who rap about degeneracy and they are, in the words of Mr. Fantastic, getting the whole label sent up for years. Enter YSL.
With the Hennessy.
Truly humbled under God.
Dude, that's my favorite thing. That is, you got whatever you're paying your that lawyer, just quadruple it. No questions asked. Just like
I called
add
Carl,
like 3 more zeros.
I called Carl and I was like, you got to take notes from this guy.
It's like
truly humbled under God. Like that is.
Hey, that's next level.
Like
if I'm the feds, I just look at him and be like, I got nothing on that. Like
that man is running a clinic, and you know what? I think last time I checked, he was a Catholic. So, anyways, so you're going through this. It's a really good thing that Hank Johnson's doing, and I'm really glad that he is working through this effort, basically trying to say like, listen, rap is entertainment. I come from a state of Atlanta. A lot of rappers here. if we took everything Outkast said literally, if we took everything Rick Ross said literally, like we would not have an economy right now. We would literally be the city of Delta and CNN. So like we would literally not have an economy except for the grace of Ted Turner and Sky West. So we need people to chill out a little bit here. That's good. I appreciate that. And lastly, because we like to end Audio Face on a fun note, we bring you America's finest news source, Tim Pool's most trusted news source, the UK Daily Mail, where Blur drummer Dave Rowntree, aka one of Damon Albarn's few white friends, is once again running for president, not president, running for office. He's running for the Labour Party, which he constantly has. For folks who aren't super familiar with politics, the Labour Party is like, at one point I would have said to the left of the Democrats. At this point, I'm going to say to the center or like slightly to the right of the Democrats, but they're left of the British political spectrum, let's say. Even still, Dave Rowntree has run for a couple of different offices, none particularly successfully, but he's making a run for Labour here. He would be, he's criticized Liz Truss and Rishi Sunak, so a lot of the conservative government. That whatever happens in America, Britain is definitely set to have like a Labour Party resurgence to the point where we actually might start looking to Britain to be like good again. But anyways, he's hoping to run in his home district of Westminster. Westminster, for folks who don't know, it is basically what folks who are not from England know of as London. Like, it is the main city. You've got Buckingham Palace, you've got all the touristy destinations, you've got Piccadilly Circus, you've got all the main stuff is, I'm starting to get British even talking about it. All the main stuff is in Westminster. And so this would be a really important seat to hold. Blur are, I'm trying to think of, it would be like if the singer of the Red Hot Chili Peppers ran for Congress or Senate in California at a national level seat. Like, it's a shoo-in to win. You're basically a national hero, or at least a local hero, being the front man of one of Britain's biggest pop exports, not to mention Damon Albarn. But like, you've got a pretty good shot. I can't wait to see how he loses this, because again, as we researched before the show began, he has run for office many times and he has never won once. And he's had better opportunities being the drummer of a band that had its peak before either of us were even born than running for politics. But you know what? God bless. Hopefully he can ride this Labor wave, because it's his race to lose, frankly, if he's running against a conservative.
It's interesting to see it and everything. It's kind of funny to see them throughout the years and see some pictures of like young Blur and everything. And gotta love the fucking Britpop era. But I mean, running for Labor, so gotta give him props. Now, if he was running as a Tory, then I would actually respect him.
What? What?
Because it would just be like the complete 180. You'd just be like, wait, hold on. He's running for which one? Tory?
This isn't
Really?
Liam Gallagher. Come on.
All right, it'd be like if a member of REM ran as a Republican. Like, just be like,
I'm trying to
random thing.
I'm trying to remember. Oh yes, I do know it. It's the British National Party.
Oh God.
I hate that I was able to.
Is that
Google
their fascist one, or?
Yes.
Yeah, that was the one that was what Oswald Mosley and shit in them and everything.
Yes. It's
I know my European history, my friend.
Let's call them the alternative for Britain.
AfD, nicht AfD. But in the words of Bam, they're not trying to take away your health care.
They are trying to take away no, like, Labor is trying to take away the NHS. All right. So that's why I'm like, okay, I guess these are just, Nancy Pelosi Democrats. So like, again, we live in hell. And I'm not going to hashtag no British politics, because not only is this not the political show, but I do not know that much about British politics. So go to Power Report for that. I'll invite an expert on for that if you really want it. But God bless to what's his face, Dave Rowntree of Blur. I will just say there's a lot of side missions I could endorse for Damon Albarn, especially if it keeps him as far away from a microphone or, frankly, any type of musical instrument, a triangle, a wind chime, even.
Mm-hmm.
But God, I would be so ready for like 5 years straight of Damon Albarn projects if it just meant he never ran for office. I would vote for Cenk Uygur before I would vote for Damon Albarn for office. I would endorse myself before I would vote for Damon Albarn.
Oh man, that's just not gonna happen. We both would be like, nope, vote Tory. At that point,
I would literally just like send Demo Crazy or Democracy to whatever, to the Daily Mail. I would just be like, have fun with this.
Oh my God.
I would play that clip from Bananas where he's trying to explain to an American family that he's not trying to get their kids to say, I need a gun to keep myself alive. And she's like, no, it's dun 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 dun. No, this has been AudioFace. Thank you very much for listening and watching. You can find all of the links at audioface.show. I guess I need to do all the security shit for that link too. Anyways, go to audioface.show. Don't worry, it's a secure link. We're not hacking anything of yours. It's just a redirect to our podcast links. You can find our YouTube channel, youtube.com/audiofacepod. Clips are going up as I am editing them. And you can find us on whatever social media we choose to be a part of. Thank you for listening to Sean and I as we talk about music. Thank you, the anti-corporatist and Taylor Hackner, for checking in and watching. Thank you to the Twitter/X audience, which seems large but also seems fake. Nevertheless, I appreciate you, and we will see you next time. A lot of great stuff happening, a lot of great music happening. 2024 is turning out to be a year for the books.
Love it. This year.
Thank you very much. Cheers.
Bye bye.